All right, welcome everyone. It's 7 p.m., so we will go on and get started. I am Tasha Hodes, and we host this class Forex Basics on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week, 7 p.m. Eastern. And what you're looking at on the screen is our brand new Tradera website. So I want to make sure everyone knows the brand new website URL is tradera.associates. So it used to be tradera.org. It is now tradera.associates. So because we have a brand new website, we'll probably start the next few classes just taking just a couple of minutes to go through it, just to make sure everyone is all caught up and all on the same page. I know there are still some outstanding technical issues going on and some difficulty in reaching support. So that is ongoing, definitely some growing pains. But I think the new site, from what I can tell, is very impressive. So everyone, all of us as members of Tradera get our own replicated site. So this is mine. So my username is Tasha Hodes. So tashahodes.tradera.associates. This is what I can send to my potential prospects for anyone who wants to learn how to trade and or build a business. And I am starting to use this site to introduce Tradera. So that's what I wanted to do for the first minute or two. This is the main site, financial services, specializing in trading education. That kind of sums up Tradera. If you scroll down, here are the founders and CEOs, Easton and Cody out of Texas. And then just some basic contact information for the site. So that is the main page. What I'm excited about is how the services are broken out. So first you have the Trade Academy. This is the back office. This is the training education, and I'll just go on and click on it. So if I scroll down, this is the Trade Academy, and it's basically A to Z trading basics all the way to advanced. Okay, so it just gives you a brief description of what is covered back there. Under services, we also have trade alerts. Now, this isn't the back office. This is just the replicated site that is very generic in nature. So the trade alerts is going to tell you what your take profit is, what your stop loss is, what your entry price is. So just some verbiage about the trade alert so that we can learn while we earn. Trade economy, I don't think this was a part of the old site. Basically this, and we'll take a look at the back office as well. This is going to be world news, what's going on in the world that may impact trading specific pairs or the strength or weakness of a particular currency in its country. So it's just kind of keeping you educated about what's going on in the world as it relates to trading. And then one of my favorite parts, the trade sessions. So you guys have heard me talk about Derek Conway. He is the master trader for Tradera. He is my mentor. I've adopted him. And he does sessions Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And basically he will spend time marking up charts and then giving us a trading plan, meaning based on how price acts, it can set up our trades. So what me and my team do, we take his markups that he posts in the Tradera official chat and just take a couple of those and trade off of. So we're making money on a daily basis. So we will wrap this call up close to 8 so that we can hop over there. Where are the trade alerts? Yeah, question in the chat. So let's go there. So I'm going to sign in to the back office. And when I do, give it a chance to come up, I'm going to go to client. And under client, now you will see these same services that we saw on the main site. The Trade Academy, this is where we'll go for the back office. So let's just take a quick minute and click there. If I scroll down, here are all the sections from the back office. Asset classes, that one is new. So I haven't had a chance to take a look at that one. So it's just organized a bit better, a little easier to get to. So that is our back office education. So important to go through that. These live classes are great, but the meat and potatoes is definitely in those videos. So even if you take one section a week, be sure to get what you're paying for with those videos. The CEOs did a phenomenal job of creating those sessions. They're very practical. They give you the knowledge and the concepts that you need, but then they jump right into the charts, and it's really, really good. All right, trade alerts. Let's dive into that. So I will scroll down. They've made it a lot easier. Here is the Telegram link. So a new person, or for those of you who have not connected to the Telegram, it's the easiest place to get the Tradera trade alerts so that it can come onto your phone or Telegram on your laptop or computer if that's where you have it installed. But just copy that, open up a browser, and if you've already joined Telegram, it will link you into the Tradera Trade Alerts Telegram. So in addition to having the trade alerts in the Telegram, you can come and get them here in the back office, as well as the results. So this UCAD is in progress. So is this EuroCAD. Looking at one that was called on 7/7, it was a win. Okay, so you can definitely see the stats in the back office. Now, in the old website, they had all trade alerts that had ever been called. So I'm not sure how many they're going to port over to the new site. So this is where you get the trade alerts. And then Trade Economy, you're just going to see a link to a bunch of different world news and world events. So real quickly, let me go back. Trade Economy. Okay, I'll scroll down. And so just some links to news events to keep you in the know and how it affects the pairs. And then finally, I wanted to show you trade sessions. So here is how you will connect to Derek Conway's classes. I also see a message in the chat. TradingView is free. So go to tradingview.com. In the chat, and I will post it again, there is a link to my YouTube site, and I record all of these classes in addition to 2 to 3 minute shorter videos. So I do have how you get started on TradingView video. So I'm posting the YouTube link in the chat again. Okay, and so if you go to my site, there's a video that should get you started on TradingView, but it's free and you can just go to tradingview.com. So under trade sessions, this link here, join live session, that's how you connect to Derek's class, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. He has been posting the link to those because I know some still can't get into their back office. No problem, Adriana. Pretty name. And so here, this is where you also get access to all of Derek's live classes are recorded. So again, in the old website, you had all of those back from the beginning. Hopefully they will get caught up and continue posting them here. Right now, I'm just seeing the first week of July. All right, so this is our new website and back office. We'll keep going through this. Just take out a few minutes with each class. I know it's the transition has been a lot, so we'll keep going through that. All right, so 1 second and I will share our recap screen. All right, so what you're looking at now, we've pretty much gone over everything on the right, which is everything that Tradera has to offer. We've gone over the back office, shown you how to get connected to Derek's live trading classes. There are additional live sessions. Coach Max and Ryan DeFreitas and some other traders as well are doing an 8 a.m. Sometimes it starts at 7. New York session. This is all part of the Lit Trade House. There's a 9 p.m. live trading session. And now I think they've brought back the London session about 2 a.m. Eastern. So, you know, the market's always open no matter where you are in the world. So find the time that works best for you. There's also Clyde Fisher and Brenda Isern have a Tradera Pitmasters Telegram. So that's available as well. So with all of that good stuff going on, the reason that we do this class is to help get you started. Forex can seem like a foreign language. You know, it can be overwhelming, a bit intimidating. So with this class, we want to ease you into everything on the right. So we'll help you get started with your demo account. We'll show you how to download MT4. That's where you will actually take your trades. We'll talk about the Tradera trade alerts, how to take those, and we are introducing how to get started in TradingView as well. So that's why this class was created. So I'll cover something new and or important to start. Then with every class, and I'll take a poll to make sure we still have people who need it. We'll go over how to set up those demo accounts because that's the very first step. While you're going to live classes and going through your back office, you want to get to know MT4 and your demo account, practice, get all the kinks out so that then you can start your live account and take the trade alerts there. Okay, so yeah, so I don't have a link to the Tradera Pitmasters Telegram. You'll have to message me and I can connect you to Clyde Fisher and then he can add you. That is the new way that that's working. Okay, and so Brian, we are going to go over how to take a trade alert and remind me to address that issue. I pretty much know what's happening there. We're gonna pull up an example and I'll walk you through it. So before we get started with that, I wanted to share with you guys, we had started talking about chart patterns. So when you first join Tradera, if you are brand new to trading, then when you get a trade alert, you're just going to take it on faith and just kind of open up your MT4 and punch in the numbers and let it ride. Now, after you've been here a while, you've started going through the back office, you're going to live classes, you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, then there are some beginning analysis steps that you can take in TradingView to just sort of see if the trade makes sense to you. So that's, some people want to stay in step one. And step one is you get the trade alert, you put it in your phone and you're off, and that's fine. So this is for those who want to take that next step, and that is to begin to do a little analysis to make sure that the trade alert makes sense to you. So we've covered the M, and we're going to cover the W formation today. So as a quick review, and I see a question in the chat. Yeah, we're going to go over all the steps for opening up your demo account. So hold on for about 5 minutes, and we will cover that in detail. So what you're looking at is a screenshot from TradingView. TradingView is a free website and application. And we do not take our trades from TradingView. We use it to pull up the pair that we're looking at. In this case, NZD, USD, New Zealand dollar matched against the US dollar. And we're going to do our analysis in terms of should we buy, should we sell, should we do nothing at all, okay? So this happened maybe the week before last. There was a trade, no, it was a free Forex trade signal, and it said sell NZD. And when I first looked at it, the first thing I saw was what was in the blue circle. And if you notice, you can see how it forms the letter M. It starts, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. So generally when that happens, it's at the top of an uptrend. So the uptrend started, if you can see my cursor here, let me use this arrow. So our uptrend started here, okay? And then at the top of that uptrend is where we have our M. Now, where this middle line, the middle part of the M starts, that's called the neck. So once you see the neck form, that's generally what we call the entry spot. And so fortunately, the trade signal said sell. And when I saw the M, I said, me and my friend, teammate Mia, we trade together all day. She said, let's take a look at that alert. And then when I saw the M, I said, oh, we need to jump in that. And as a result, later on in the afternoon, this is what happened. Price fell. So normally when you see an M, it's a signal that that uptrend is now going to become a downtrend. And we also call it a double top. Why is that? Because there's the first top and then there's the second. So what it means is that price has just met so much resistance at the top that it has no choice but to fall. So this we've covered before, and this is called an M formation. Now I want to show you it's the next formation, which is a W. So just like before, it's shown here within the blue circle, and the W is found at the bottom of a downtrend. So let me take the arrow. We started our uptrend there. And here at the bottom, where the W is found. So the bottom of a downtrend, normally it signals a reversal to an uptrend. And we call it a double bottom. So with the M, you had a double top. With the W, you may also hear it called a double bottom. So again, here's our neck. And once price hits that neck, you can normally expect for price to go up. So we have an M formation, and now we have a W. So it would be great when you're looking, once you take that next step, and take your time. You may want to stay in step one. You may not get to step two, but for those who do, and you're actually looking at your charts in TradingView, begin to train your eye to look for the M's and to look for the W's. And now let's talk about why is it even important. The reason is we're looking for extra confirmation. So in trading, when we say we have confirmation, that means we've seen a candlestick pattern, we've seen a chart formation, someone has given us a signal, or there's an indicator, something that's telling us that we should buy it or sell it. Now, when you put multiple confirmations together, now you have confluence. And that can give you confidence that, yeah, I think I should take this trade. So the goal is when you get your Tradera trade alerts, if it's a free Forex signal, if a trader calls it on a live, you want to look for some additional confirmations or confluence to let you know you're making the right decision. So here's an example. Let's say Tradera sends out a sell signal. The first thing you do is go to Trading View and you pull up that pair. You notice that an M formation is developing. So if the signal is calling for a sell, then perhaps you wait until price gets to that neck, and then you have a good entry and you go in for your sell. So that's a practical example of how you could use this M formation. Or if it was a buy and you see the first leg of the W, you see the second leg, you see the third leg, perhaps you wait until you get that fourth leg and then you take your entry for the buy at the neck. All right, so that's what I wanted to cover today. We like to keep this class kind of high level, kind of simple. We want it to be informative, but not too heavy, not too deep. We don't want to lose you. I know there's a lot of information being thrown at you, so we're gonna keep things kind of high and light. Now, if you're in the class and you have not yet set up your demo account, can you put a 10 in the chat? I want to know how many people I'm talking to. If for whatever reason you have not yet created your demo account, can you put a 10 in the chat? All right. Yep, that's what I figured. All right, so we definitely need to cover that. All right, no problem. We will cover that next. So on my YouTube site, all of the next few slides that I show, they are all on the Getting Started playlist in the YouTube site. So don't worry if I go too fast, it is all there on the YouTube site for you. So let's start with setting up your demo account. So when it's time for your live account, you will need to partner with a broker. And this list is some of the brokers that the traders have vetted. And most of us are using one or more of these: Hugo's Way, Trader's Way, Osprey FX, FX Choice, LQ, DFX. You're free to use whatever broker that you want. This is just a suggested list. So I thought, now when you do your demo account, you don't have to go through a broker at all, but I thought it would be useful to sort of get accustomed to building that relationship and going to the website, because that's what you'll have to do for your live account. So for these classes, we will use Hugo's Way, and I'll have tons of screenshots for you and sort of take the guesswork out of it. So if you choose to do a demo account through Hugo's Way, I would recommend you go to this website, hugosway.com/demo-sign-up. If you go to just hugosway.com, 9 times out of 10, you'll end up opening up a real account. It's not very user-friendly in terms of that demo. So go straight to this site and it'll be a lot easier. Type in your first and last name, email address. For leverage, choose 500, which is also good for your live account. And then choose the smallest balance that you can. And I think the smallest one is going to be $1,000. When you open up your live account, you may start it with $150, $100, $200. So we want to keep our starting balance small. All right, hit submit. Then Hugo's Way will send you a confirmation email that looks like this. You want to make sure you pay attention to the MT4 login details. That demo account number, that's how you'll log into MT4. And that trader password, that's the password you'll need. You won't need that investor password at all. It only gives you read-only access. You won't even have, the trade button won't be active if you use that one by mistake. So here's something that's important. MetaTrader 4, or MT4 for short, that's the application where we are actually taking the trade. We found that it's a lot simpler if you start off by trading on your phone. So what you can do is open this email on your phone, this confirmation email from Hugo's Way, and then click the appropriate download, and right away you can download MT4 on your phone. Now, some people like to do it on their computer. The setup is a bit more complex, and at some point we'll have a class or 2 or 3 to show you how to do that. But just to keep things simple for now, you want to trade on your phone. Yeah, Adriana has a question, and I will in about 2 minutes. I'll go over the difference between a demo account here on Hugo's Way and on MetaTrader 4. All right, so by the time you're done with this, you would have created your MT4. I'm sorry, your Hugo's Way demo account and downloaded MT4 on your phone. Let's go to the next slide, which is connecting the two. We're going to open up MT4 and connect to that Hugo's Way demo account. All right, so first I'll go through the steps for the iPhone. And then we'll go through the same steps for the Android. It's a little different. So on the iPhone, when you open up MT4, at the bottom right, you'll see a little wheel icon for settings. You're going to click on that, then do new account. Yeah, and we're going to select this second option. Now, if you want to bypass the broker altogether, you can just click on open a demo account, one that MT4 provides for you. And that's fine for practicing how to take the trades and all of that. The only reason that I don't like it, and the reason that I suggested the Hugo's Way, is that it starts you out with $100,000. So your numbers are big, your lot sizes are big. So I find it more practical and convenient to work with smaller numbers. So that's why I went the Hugo's Way option. But yeah, feel free. If you want to just use the demo account right there on MetaTrader 4, you're welcome to do that. And for those who are seeing MetaTrader 5, if you download MT4 from Hugo's Way, then you will bypass that MT5 problem. You definitely want to have MT4. And in terms of connection, in terms of connecting your MT4 to your Hugo's Way, these steps will work 100% of the time. Sometimes when you get MT4 from the Play Store, it's harder to connect, but yeah, give it a try. These steps should help you. So what you want to do, every broker has a server that they use for demo and then one that they use for live. So if you type in Hugo's Way, then you'll want to select Hugo's Way -demo 3. And that's what you'll do for demo. When it's time for your live account, then you'll choose a different one. So MT4, this is MetaTrader 4. This is where we are actually going to take the trade. And on the next slide, I'll show you how to do that. So pull up that confirmation email that Hugo's Way sent to you. Type in that demo account number here for your login. Type in that trader password for your password. Make sure that save password is on. That way you won't have to type those characters in again. Then click sign in. Now let's do the same set of steps for the Android. So when you open it up, in the top left, those 3 white horizontal lines, click on that. Then click on Manage Accounts. Then click on that plus icon in the upper right. So here's where you have a choice. We're going to log into an existing account so that we can plug right into that Hugo's Way. Type in Hugo's Way and then select Demo 3. And then here's that login. So just like we did for the iPhone, type in your demo account number, your trader password, make sure that the save password button is checked, and that's how you would log in. So the last slide that I'll share with you is how to actually take the Tradera trade alert. Now on my website, there's another set of slides called Understanding the Trade Alert. So you may find that helpful, but for time purposes, I'll explain it while I show you how to take the trade. All right, so we'll go through the iPhone steps and then the Droid, and then we'll spend the last 25 or so minutes of class in Q&A, so you can ask any question that you want. So let's say our example pair is CAD JPY, the Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. Let's say that's where the trade alert is called. Well, you open up MT4 and you don't see it listed. So no problem. That just means you will click on this blue plus here. Then you're going to select FX crosses. Now, it may also be called Forex. It may also say FX group. We're not doing, the trade alerts are crypto pairs. It's not gold. It's not indices. It's not stocks. It's not any of that advanced stuff. It's going to be everything that you'll need will be found in this FX crosses. So for the person in the chat, Kimberly, scroll up and you should see a link to my YouTube. I will post it again for you though, to make it easier. Okay, so once you click on FX crosses, here is CAD JPY. So click on that green circle, press done. And now, let me go back. Now CAD JPY will be at the bottom, of your list. So what you're gonna do is hold down CAD JPY. No problem, Kimberly. And when you hold it down, you're gonna get this pop-up menu. So you wanna click on trade, and this is the screen that you'll see. So let me adjust my screen so that you can see the trade alert. All right, so on the right, that's an example of how a Tradera trade alert looks. And I'm going to show you how to input these numbers here on the trade screen. So Tradera's trade team is placing a buy on CAD JPY. And let's go over what these parameters are. So a buy means we expect price to go up. That's how we win the trade. So when you take your trade, MT4, when it's red, that means we're negative. We're not quite winning yet. When the number is blue, that means we're in profit and we're winning the trade. Now, let's say price decides to fall. It's not going our way. We are losing the trade. We need a stop loss. We need a point where we say, okay, I'm going to accept my loss. Let me exit the trade. Let me stop losing money. That's why you always need to have a stop loss price set. Tradera will give you one for each trade. And, you know, some people may say, well, I don't really trade with a stop loss. If your account is important to you in terms of not losing, you want to have a stop loss set. What if you plan to watch the trade, but then you forget about it and you're gone for 30 minutes. You come back and now you're surprised because price, you know, it could have, one trade can wipe out your account, especially when you're first starting if you don't have that stop loss set. Okay, now good news. Let's talk about take profit. So price goes up, it's going our way. And yes, I do have a Android video. It's the next screen. So just hold on one second. So let's say price is going our way. Well, at some point we want to secure our profits and exit the trade. So Tradera will give you a choice of 3 take profits. And you'll hear this phrase a lot, pip and dip. A lot of us like to use TP1, make 15, 20 pips and then secure our profit, take me out of the trade. If you want to make more money and you have a little bit more patience, a bit more risk, then you may go for take profit too, because you can only use 1 TP, short for take profit, per trade. Take profit 3 is going to give you probably 100 pips or more. It may take a day to even reach that or longer. Okay, so on this iPhone screen, where it says stop loss, you're going to type in your 76.248. You just put your finger there and it will let you edit it. For take profit, you're going to choose one. and type it in there. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is the lot size. So you see where it says 0.10 under market execution. We make that a little bigger. That is your lot size, and that has to be set for every trade. Now, Tradera and the Trade Alert is not going to tell you what lot size to use. It really depends on your account balance. So the industry standard is for every $100 in your account, you can use 0.01. So a $100 account, you'll put in 0.01. A $200 account, 0.02. $500 account, 0.05. With these demo accounts of $1,000, you can use 0.10. So be sure to set that properly. One more step, press buy by market, and you are in the trade. Let's do the same thing for the Android. So you open up MT4, you don't see CAD JPY. So click on that plus arrow, plus icon in the upper right. This says FX group. We're not doing crypto pairs. We're not doing indices. FX group will have all your pairs. You'll click on CAD JPY, hold it down, just like we did for the iPhone. Notice with this pop-up menu, you want to click on new order. So it doesn't say trade like it did for the iPhone. And once you click on new order, here is the screen, okay? So I see a question in the chat, how do we place TP2 and TP3? Well, you'll have to pick one for this entry. Another option is to do multiple entries. So you can do one trade with TP1, and then you can do another trade with TP2. So, or you can just, I rarely use, if at all, TP3. I'm more of a pip and dip type of trader. So the lot size looks the same like it did for the iPhone, but there's no label for stop loss and there's no label for take profit. So this black number here to the left, that's where your stop loss goes. And then the black number here to the right, that's where your take profit goes. So only 4 steps: lot size, stop loss, take profit, and then at the bottom, you click buy and you are in the trade. All right, so we'll now transition over to Q&A. And I remember there was a question in the chat about invalid stop loss. So in order for me to answer that question, I am going to share my trading view screen. And I think I can help, I think it was Brian, if I have that name correct. So 1 second, and then we'll go straight into our Q&A. All right, 1 second while Trading View is coming up. Okay, so we're looking at Trading View. Now, let's say, turn that alert off. Let's say that I am, and I'll use some arrows. Let's say that I am doing a sell and I get in here, and so let me mark that with text. Yes, I would recommend a TradingView account because it's free. Let's say my entry is here next to that arrow. Okay, let's say my stop loss is
Can you make the screen a little bigger, please?
Yeah, let me try to do that. 1 second. I think I can zoom in. Stop loss. So what I can do at the very bottom, this is how you zoom in. You just keep clicking on that plus, and then I have a touch screen too. So All right, so let's move that stop loss here. And then let's say my TP is down here. So TP. Let me zoom in some more. All right, so I'm doing a sell. So my entry is here. My stop loss is above it, and my TP is at the bottom. Because with a sell, you expect price to drop. Now, when I enter this in MT4, in MetaTrader 4, my entry price, that's wherever the market is at the time, okay? Now, my stop loss has to be higher than my entry, and my take profit has to be lower than my entry for a sell. So if the numbers don't match, then MetaTrader 4 will give you that invalid parameters, invalid stop loss TP. So that's probably what your problem is, or what your issue is. Now, if I'm doing a buy, then all of this is different. So if I'm doing a buy, my TP, let's see if I can move it. My TP is going to be at the top. My stop loss, let's do a better example. Let's say my stop loss is down here. My entry is here. Okay, so for a buy, I'm expecting price to increase. So if my entry is here, my stop loss must be below, and my take profit must be at a higher price. So if the numbers don't line up, then you'll get that MetaTrader 4 issue. So Brian, let me know if that helps you.
Miss
Hey, who's speaking?
Natalie.
Hey,
Good
Natalie, how are
evening.
you?
I'm great, thanks. I hope you're doing okay.
I am.
You are like a godsend, because this is exactly the problem I'm having. So I don't know if you could just say that one more time, please, from the cell.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Take profit has to be lower than the entry price.
Yeah, let me write it here on the screen. So, and I have a Forex pair for Mel. Mel requested that. So when let me just write it here. When I'm doing a buy, and I can make this text bigger. So when I'm doing a buy trade, in the order of things, I'm going to have my TP is going to be at my TP is going to be at the top. Then I'm going to have my entry. That's going to be I'm going to put in the middle. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the middle, but then my stop loss is going to be at the bottom. Okay, and then when I do a sell, it's going to be reverse. So when you sell, you're going to have your stop loss is going to be at the top. Then you're going to have your entry, and then you're going to have your TP, your take profit. That's going to be on the bottom. So hopefully I answered your question there. So, and I'll draw it here on the screen again. So let's say for a sell, let's say my entry is here. So here's where I'm entering. And for a sell, I want my stop loss to be higher So here's my stop loss, my SL. And then my take profit is going to be somewhere here on the bottom. And I'm going to put TP for short, TP for take profit. And so, yeah, no matter if you're buying or selling, your entry is always in the middle, or your entry is always in between. It may be, obviously, it's going to be closer to your stop loss than it potentially than your take profit. So yes, entry is always in the middle. Okay.
Your stop loss is lower when you are selling.
It's higher.
Yeah, it's higher.
When you are selling, because you want price to drop. But in case it doesn't go your way and it rises, that stop loss is going to protect your account and take you out the trade if it goes too high.
So if the market goes up, you can still lose because you're in sell.
Yes, yep. Exactly. That stop loss says, okay, take me out the trade. I know, I give up, I lose. But guess what? If you don't have that stop loss set and price just keeps going up and up and up, you're more and more negative. That stop loss is the only thing that takes you out of the trade. And for the person in the chat, when you say entry point, what does it mean? Is it the time that you place the order? Let me show you. So we are looking at JPY, AUDJPY. And at this very moment, here is current price. This candle is active, it's real time. Trading view, I am looking at the 5-minute chart. Up here, 5 minutes. That means each of these candles represents 5 minutes. Trading view will give me a counter. So in 2 minutes and 38, 37, 36 seconds, that's how much time is left in this very candle. This price here at the, I believe it's at the top, the 75.236, this entire column is where my prices are. So here, everything you see, all of these numbers are current prices, or not current prices, but prices. And so, yes, this 75.249 is telling me where price is at the moment. So if I take a buy, then that's the price that I'm getting in at. Market price, whatever price is at that moment that you press buy or press sell, that is your entry point. Price is normally always moving.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just started, but I kind of understand, and I want to kind of start making some money. Would you advise me to just go ahead and start my live account?
No, I would say make some mistakes in demo first.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, at least, I hate to put a time frame on it, but at least a couple of weeks, at least a week, maybe a month or more. It just depends on your comfort level, but you want to make your mistakes with the play money and demo account.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the big thing is, like, with that lot size, once you set that lot size and you press buy or sell, you cannot change it. You are locked into it.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
you want to make that mistake and forget in demo and say, oh, note to self, always remember to check my lot size, because in a live account, you don't want to do 0.1 instead of 0.01, because if that trade loses, it can wipe out your whole account, because that lot size determines how much money you make. So if price moves 20 pips, let's say I'm in a trade and it goes 20 pips. At 0.01, I just made $2. Okay. At 0.1, I made $20, $1 for every pip. At 1.0, we call that a standard lot. I just made $200. So that's the big difference in that lot size. So Yeah, you definitely want to practice that in demo. Just making sure you know how to input the numbers and all of that. But depending on your confidence and how much time, you don't have to stay in demo long, but
Mhm.
I would recommend you at least start there.
Okay, one more question, and I know
Sure.
you busy.
Uh-huh.
Explain to me what pips and dips mean.
Pip and dip, it's just a phrase. It means we want to make quick money. It means looking at, I have some alerts going off, looking at what we're seeing on the screen. Let's say my entry, let's say I got in right now and I'm going for a sell. So instead of my take profit being way down here, pip and dip means I may get 5, 10, 15 pips and then come out of the trade. So it just means faster, easier money, less risk. As opposed to like with the Tradera trade alert, pip and dip would mean take TP1 for every trade. You make an easy 15, 20 pips, less risk, get your money and go home. Versus TP3, oh, you may have to hold that trade a whole day, maybe even 2 before it gets there, and it may not get there. So pip and dip means we just kind of want the sure money, less risk, faster profits.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, you're welcome.
Tasha,
2 questions. One,
Uh-huh.
when we were at the stop loss,
Mm-hmm.
one of the problems I've been noticing is, I don't know, should the stop loss be a specific number of pips or points or something away from the entry point? And second question,
Mm-hmm.
when I notice that the trade is winning,
Mm-hmm.
I start to move the stop loss to take the profit that is there.
Yeah.
But when for example, I'm in a buy trade and I see like $10 on the screen, so I start to move the stop loss up. So I will cover $5, $6, so I'm going closer.
Yes.
However, what I noticed
It kicks you out the trade.
is that in a few minutes the trade closes.
Yep, it
So
kicked you out.
is it right? So is it that, yes, so is it that you have to be a certain, I don't know what that word is, but distance point away from pips or something? I don't know what the
Yeah,
term is yet.
yeah,
But
I'll tell you,
Excellent.
and that's a perfect example. So let's say I'm selling, so I entered here, and let's say my TP, is down here somewhere. So as price gets closer and closer to my TP, I am trailing my stop loss. So I am moving it. So I started here. My goal is way down here. The closer I get, the more I move that stop loss. That's called securing your profits, trailing your stop loss. You're trailing behind where price is.
Tasha,
Uh-huh.
isn't it a bad idea not to do that until you become experienced?
No, it's perfectly fine. The only problem is if you trail it too close, as price pulls back, it's going to kick you out the trade. But as Derek always says, you cannot go broke taking profit. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all. But if you want to stay in the trade longer, you have to give price a chance to move. And different pairs have bigger and smaller stop losses. So it's a good idea to trade 1 or 2 pairs to get to know them. And as you, let's see, we have an echo.
I hope that's not me.
It might be. Okay, I think it's gone now. Yeah, so it's a good problem to have. You can't go broke taking profit. You may have to trail it not so closely though to actually stay in the trade long enough to hit your TP. But there's no exact science there. And
Okay, I was wondering because she asked something about trailing her profit. Does she know how to get out of a trade?
yeah, you can always manually close your trade if you don't want to stay in it, all the way. But to answer your first question about where to set that stop loss, I'm gonna save that for Derek Conway, because when he marks up the chart, someone generally asks that question every day, and he can show you where to set that stop loss.
Okay, thanks very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Tasha,
Hello, Tasha.
Uh-huh.
please,
I'm not sure
please,
who's first.
please. And thank you very much for what you're doing. You and Derek are amazing.
Oh, well, thank
How do
you.
I get this? I can't get the trade alerts. On the picture you showed us, it was 7/7/20. That was 2 weeks ago. I got the website with all the A's in it. I tried to put it in. How do I get that in the chat so I can get these things? I need to get those things.
Yeah, I know. So you remember when I showed you that link to Telegram that was at the
Right.
top?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you open up a new browser and paste that at the top, you're already a part of Telegram, yes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so if you open up a new browser and paste that, it'll give you a link to actually join that Telegram group. So go on your back office, go under client, click on trade alert, copy that link at the top, open up a new browser like so, paste it in, and it's going to pull up Telegram and say join Tradera Trade Alert.
Okay, so I put that in where you're showing now on the screen.
Yep, that's exactly what you do.
Thank you so much.
You're
Kisses,
welcome.
much appreciation.
No worries, no worries.
Tasha, could you bring up back your screen?
Yes, Trading View.
Yes, thank you. Quick question here.
Uh-huh.
Where you have those two yellow lines at 75.268
Mm-hmm.
and 75.204.
Mm-hmm.
For reason of clarity and understanding, could you indicate the pip difference between the two? Or do you calculate the difference?
I can.
Calculate the number of pips?
Yeah, and there are two ways to do it. So the first one is 75.26, and then the second one is 75.20. So if I subtract, that's going to be
6 pips?
yep, 6 pips.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
so on the left, I believe it's this ruler. I don't know why my trading view is so small. I think it's the ruler. If I hold it down, then this will also, my screen is too small. This will also show you the number of pips as well, that ruler tool. I don't use it that much. I normally just do the math. Now, a lot of times, let me pull up another one like UJ. Well, the JPY pairs are a little different. Let's do Euro odd. Yeah, normally you have 4 decimals, 4 points after the decimals. So it's still subtraction. So if you wanted to do the difference between 1.6389 and 1.6388, then that's just 2 pips because it's 90 minus 88. Now I'm on the 5-minute chart. That's why it's not many pips.
68 and what? What was the other figure?
Yeah, let me do it here for you. So let's do 1.6478.
Yes.
So that was somewhere, and then let's do
1.64400.
yeah, 64400. 1 second.
Gotcha. Wouldn't it be easier just to get their starting point and subtract where they are or their stop loss from that?
Yeah, I was trying to, let me do all this in one window. So 1.6478, and we can just make up the numbers. 1.6461. So if you subtract, that's going to be 17 pips. Yeah.
So what exactly is a pip? Is that how much?
It's how we measure the change in prices. So the difference
Okay,
between these prices, the difference
okay,
between these prices are pips. Because every currency has a different decimal system, and pips is how it's like the standardization for all the different difference in measurements between the pips, the currencies. So the Japanese yen, the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, we measure all those changes in currency prices with pips.
okay, gotcha.
Okay,
I,
thanks.
I have a question.
Sure.
So you measure the pips with the top on the middle, because I see you use the top and the middle section of
Yeah,
the
you just
chart.
subtract them, the smaller number from the bigger number. Yep, the smaller from the bigger. I see a question in the chat from Mel. When your trade goes in the red, negative. I'm sorry?
Sorry, Tasha.
Uh-huh.
To follow up with the question that the young lady, the person before me just asked, if you were to go back to your trade alert that you looked at earlier, where we can identify with the stop loss figure, the TT1 figure, then maybe you could explain more clearly for everyone to understand the difference with the fit.
Here's what I would recommend.
I think that's what everybody would like to know.
Yeah, I have a slide deck called risk to reward ratio, and I go into more details in terms of calculating your pips and how to know when a trade alert is still valid. So everyone go to my YouTube site and watch risk and reward. It's only about 2 to 3 minutes, but it's going to show you better how to subtract and get the number of pips, and also how to calculate your risk and reward for every trade. So that video will explain it in a little bit more detail. So Mel's question, and then we gotta wrap it up. When your trade goes in the red, negative, if we wait for the stop loss, the negative amount can get really large. When do you recommend closing the trade? Well, Mel, the first thing you gotta do is calculate your risk to reward before you actually take the trade, so that you know before you take that trade, if it hits stop loss, how many pips you are risking, which translates into how many dollars from your account you're risking. So once you understand that up front, that helps you decide if you even want to take the trade. And if at any point you're just not comfortable with it, you can always exit the trade before it hits your stop loss. Okay.
May I ask you one more question, Tasha, before you move across?
Yes, what's your question?
Okay, on the demo account, if you have a balance of $1,000 working with, and you decide to take, you're working between 3 trades, one at each take profit level. All right, and in order from take profit 1 to take profit 3, you're considering a 0.1 lot size, a 0.2 lot size, a 0.3 lot size. Could you explain by calculation what proportion, what dollar value of that $1,000 each would represent?
Well, with 0.1, for every pip that you gain, it's $1. For every pip that you lose, it's $1. So if you are risking 20 pips, meaning it's 20 pips from your entry price to your stop loss, your risk is 20 pips. And at 0.1, that's $20. At 0.2, it's $40. At 0.3, it's $60. Yeah. That lot size is very important, and so it's and we can dive deeper into it next time for sure. I'm going to post the link for Derek's class as soon as I can find it, and then I will get this recorded and on the YouTube site. So 1 second. Any other questions while I'm looking for this Zoom?
So you'll be here Thursday again at 7?
Yes, same time.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I just want to get this Derek's Zoom posted. And with Derek's class, especially for the beginners, you gotta kind of let it sink in a few times. It's not going to be rocket science the first, second, or even third time that you go. I'm still learning every time I go. He has so many nuggets. Derek is a 6, almost 7-figure trader, so he knows his stuff. The wisdom that you can extract just by letting it sink in is just amazing. He has really good energy too. Okay, here we go. I finally found it. The link said above is the link. Copy link. I have to join our session again. All right, posting it now. And then there's a meeting ID. Let me post that as well. Eight 27416. You may not need that meeting ID, 8354. All right, everyone. So I'm going to get this posted to my YouTube site. I'm going to jump on Derek's call. Hopefully you guys can join me if you can. And I'll talk to you all on Thursday. Have a good night.
Thank you and good night.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.